If you have a savings account, you need to do this now, actually pronto, without pausing and leaving and doing it right this second. We're going to talk about what you need to do if you have a savings account. If you watch our last video, we talked about why they are a scam. And I don't know if you've ever asked yourself, why do the banks always tell you you need a savings account? Everyone tells you you need a savings account, but they don't themselves have a savings account. It's because they want your money. They want to make money on your money. So I'm going to show you guys how we do that every week. This is an income strategy, and this is going to be the last video we have where we don't actually pull up the brokerage and show you kind of how things work. I don't want it to be overwhelming. And Mike, this is all he does. While I am a full-time trader and I do this in my investment account, this is all he does, replacing his income. So first and foremost, actually, Mike, you have anything to add? I kind of just went straight into it. I always ask you this, but
no, let's get right in because we're limited on time today.
Okay. So take your cash right now, your savings account, open a Robinhood account. It's going to be, they're going to ask you for your social and everything like that. It's going to be just like opening a bank account. But don't touch it. Don't do anything with it. Just deposit your cash in there. Robinhood right now is paying, I think, 5.5%. It's 5% for sure, but it might be like 5.5%. So that alone, if you just stop right there, already blows away your savings account entirely because you're not making 5%. Your savings account, even your high interest, your high yield, some people still have grandfathered into those. The highest one I ever saw was 4%. But if you just never touch it again, that right there already beats it. So what we do after that is we take that cash and we assign it to companies. And everyone's asking like, hey, where do I begin? So that's step one. Step two, find a company that you wouldn't mind owning. And this is actually the harder part because there are companies that are just garbage. And so, Mike, how do you do it? Do you go to Facebook, StockTwits, Wall Street Bets, YouTube? How do you find a ticker?
It's easier because I've been doing this for a few years now. But if I was new, I would just start with some of the mainstream ones. Like, what are the ones that like everyone knows about? Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, like those, Apple. Those are the easy ones to start with and start doing your research and learning how to do your research, so you know what a good stock is versus what a bad stock is.
Yeah, and man, the biggest mistake I've seen a lot of people do is when they jump into the stock market, they want to start slow, so they jump into penny stocks. Which, if there's one rule I can leave you guys with today, right here, right now, is it's priced that way for a reason. There is a reason Amazon was $3,500 and something else is 25 cents. They are just garbage. This is one of those things where there are some caveats to this, but you do get what you paid for outside of something just being a pump and dump. If you pull up the stock chart and it looks like an EKG, it's not the one for you.
So without actually recommending it, because we can't do that, the one I look at, or I have people in our chat who are new, I have them look at Ford, because it's the easiest one to figure out whether that's a good stock to start learning on.
Yes, Ford has just one of the lowest barriers to entry. It actually pays a dividend. So Ford checks all the boxes. And I've said here on YouTube over and over again, if you can find a better stock to wheel, that's what the strategy is called, than Ford, by all means, bring it forward. And no one has yet. Just because Ford announced $13, so you need $1,300 in theory to buy 100 shares, because that's what you need. So when you're looking at these stocks, you do have to have 100 shares or the ability to buy 100 shares. So if I had $1,300 right now, cash in a savings account, I would open a Robinhood account. And then I would go sell a 13 strike put, which means I haven't bought the shares yet. Ford needs to close under 13 on the Friday of the expiration that I choose, and someone pays me for that to happen. I know it sounds like magic money, and we're going to explain that in the next video, but that's the best way I can describe it. Because I have the cash, I leverage the cash, and then it makes money. One day, Ford will sell off. It'll be below 13. All of a sudden, you will have 100 shares at 13. And then you're going to sell a call at 13 or 13.50 or even higher. You're going to collect more money every week while you own those shares. So, and like I tell everybody, having 100 shares, it's like having a vacant house. It's time to collect some rent. And that's all we're doing, is we're just collecting rent. on every group of 100 shares that we have. Ford, again, in the meantime, while you have those shares, pays a dividend. So you get a dividend every quarter. I did it for almost a decade, and you just got paid weekly. So I got weekly money, quarterly money, and then the shares, they would grow, they would go up and down. I got to be honest with you guys, Ford does nothing. It goes sideways, which makes it one of the easiest ones ever. On its lowest day, you just know it's just going to be a few months and it's going to be back up again, and it just stays sideways. It's in everyone's retirement. It's just a blue chip stock that everyone has, and it's just not going anywhere.
Yep.
And on that, that's the segue that's important. If it's in my investment account, and this is what I encourage you guys to do, is it's still going to be here in 5 years. I'm talking World War III, COVID 20, 21, and 22. And they even come out the same year. Okay. I mean, everything hits it. Is it still going to be here? We know NVIDIA is still going to make chips. Social media, Meta is still going to be here. You're still going to be looking up how to do stuff on Google. You might be talking to Google, might not be searching, but those companies, they're here to stay. So the ones Mike listed, I don't even deviate from those. In fact, he basically just listed almost my entire portfolio. Doesn't matter. They're great stocks. They grow, and then I collect rent on them every week.
Yeah, I like the way you put it the last time we talked, and that was you put in a limit order to buy a stock at a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm.
We just get paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and so for everyone that's new, because I'm really trying to cater this to the new people, a limit order is just saying, I will buy the stock at this price. I don't care what it's at right now. I will buy it at this price. We're putting in orders to do that, and we get paid for these orders. It's not magic. It's just that not many people know this, and it blows my mind that people don't know this. This is
Mm-hmm.
why you will stay poor. This is why you think you're doing really good when you don't go to Starbucks that day and drink your $7 coffee. I'll make that $7 while I'm sitting in the drive-through line, literally selling a put. In fact, I had the next 10 years of Starbucks sold inside of 1 month. So I mean, drink your stupid coffee. It doesn't matter as long as you follow these steps. This just doesn't matter. This angers me that people don't know this. It's just not something they teach. This is what a lot of managers do that are managing portfolios, and it's. Next video is going to make it a lot clearer, but also you might have to watch it a few times because we're going to go over some numbers. I'm going to show you the charts. We're going to do kind of everything in the next one because I don't know how else to jump into it. How else do you jump into it, Mike?
That's kind of how you just have to jump in. There's no other way. You just have to jump in. We can help you jump in. I think that's really the key. It's having someone who can show you the ropes, but once you learn them, it's really easy.
Yeah, it really is. And I try to show everyone this. Everyone in my chat, our chat, is doing this because we literally call it free internet money. I mean, even as traders, why would you not do this?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you just take that money and trade with it and grow with that. If you lose, you got set back a week. You didn't get set back money. You got set back a week. And the mindset just changes. Your confidence changes.
Yep.
Your bills become, can I afford that? How many contracts am I selling? It really, we haven't mentioned the Patreon once, but that is something you do. So you go live on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the morning. I go live every night before the stock market opens the next day. So our schedules never conflict with each other. And you have, I mean, you post every play you're doing as far as selling your options, right? The whole wheel strategy.
I do. Anytime I make a trade, selling, and usually on Fridays when I sell my Friday plays and then close them out during the week, those are all posted.
Mm-hmm. And then if you're in the Discord, just right above that is mine, where I post. Now mine are trades, so I'm in, I'm out, I'm buying and selling. But a lot of these in the beginning, I am owning the shares and selling contracts against, because when you I'm now, mine's a growth account, so I'm trying to show everyone where to start when it's from the beginning. We started this from zero. Now, if you're just jumping in now, the account's just shy of $8,000. But when you're a beginner like this, you can't afford to take the stupid YOLO trades. You can't afford to buy that cheap one and hope it goes from $1 to $7. Yeah, that's amazing if you can 700% it. And there's a reason why people show this off on Instagram. It's because it's the highlight reel. They're not showing you the rest of their life. None of those people are happy on Instagram. You ever talk to somebody? Everyone's depressed. Okay, so we've gone over open now. So here's why I suggest Robinhood, because you do it on an E-Trade account, correct?
Right. Yep.
Now, I'd had the growth account I started it over because everyone got all uppity when it was over 100%, and they started paying attention. So we had to start it over. But I decided to start over with Robinhood because on E-Trade, if you do not have $6,000 in the account, you can't sell the puts, which is half of the strategy. Selling puts, the other half is selling calls. It's just a weird setback. You should not have any emotional attachment to any broker. They don't care about you. You are a literal number code inside the matrix. So I recommended Robinhood because if you still are scared, Robinhood has a debit card. Put your money in there just like a savings account. You can spend it, but you'll still collect the 5%. And should you just watch a few of these videos and get your confidence up and try to take one, you join the Discord. Mike says, this is what I just did. And you agree with it, then it's already there. It's ready. You're familiar with having your money in a brokerage. So you got that step. The next step is what everyone says, do your due diligence. We certainly have our tools. Is there any red flags or warnings you'd have to anyone? Let's say they're not using anything we have to offer. They've watched this video, they're intrigued, they're listening, but as far as picking stocks, they're gonna just wing it. The YouTube route, the Facebook route, your wife's boyfriend.
uh, it's hard to tell someone to stay away from the speculative stocks because that's a whole definition of itself, right? What's a speculative stock, right? Versus something that's going to stick around. So it's a tough one. You're probably better geared to tell someone that than I am, actually.
Yeah, I mean that really just is how it is. I mean, we're loading bases here, and that's it. So there's never going to be a home run. There's not. You bought this and a tweet came out and it went to $1 million.
Yeah.
These are loading the bases every week, and it just keeps churning. You just get the points.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that way. And the speculative ones, they're going to hit you with you're going to make this much, and just know that that's not happening.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, I would just stick with the ones, like, and I guess if something is really simple, look at a chart. Which way is that line going? Is it going from the top down, or is it going from the bottom up?
Yeah.
If it's going from the bottom up, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest hacks. They said, "Hey, how do you know what stocks to buy?" And I said, "If it goes from the lower left to the upper right, it's doing good. That's what your money's going to do. All right.
Yeah.
You don't want the garbage stuff. There's a reason why it's selling off. Again, people for some reason jump to the biggest losers. There's a scanner for it. The ones that just lost a bunch, and they think it's going to bounce back. It just lost that much for a reason. Like we'll cover that in a later date. Stay away from the garbage.
Yeah, I think it can be that simple for a new person. Which way is it? Which way is the trend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, if it's going up, that's where your money's going. If it's going down, why in the world do you think it's going to turn around right here? You just told me you're new. What experience do you have? Why are you fighting this?
Yeah, and I think that's something I had to learn as a new trader a few years ago. Was getting that garbage out of my head, thinking I knew better.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of psychology to it, and it's crazy how people are wired to think a certain way. Just habitually throughout their life. And the world is obsessed with money. So you just need to do this, not to even get ahead, but just even remain afloat. Like that's my driver for this.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap up here, unless you got something else. What's up?
Last thing you touched on a second ago is that we're making base hits, right? And that's why I tell all the new members who come in and join me in the mornings that I don't hit home runs, but I will knock 1,000 base hits in a row. And make all the runs we want.
Yeah. And just imagine you're someone that only goes for home runs. How many times are you striking out? And how many times can your account take that before your account is out of there?
Right.
Only so many strikes you can take before it just sucks. You just found them. By the time someone's talking about it on Facebook, just know that you're probably too late.
Yeah.
Just know that by the time I'm talking about Facebook, I'm probably on the other end selling to those gamblers. And my account is full of those people's money.
Right.
That's what it takes. And again, shout out to everybody that doesn't listen to me. I wouldn't be where I'm at because of you. So I appreciate the free money.
Yeah, I'm the king of base hits.
Yeah, I like it because it's just consistent. It's easy. Yeah. I do have to pay my bills with this.
Yeah, we're actually playing Moneyball.
Exactly. All right. So the next video, make sure you subscribe to. We are going to open a brokerage. We're going to go over the options, what it looks like. I'm just warning you guys now, if you've never seen it or maybe you have, there's just a whole bunch of numbers. there's actually only 3 columns. When you break it down, there's a lot of numbers that mean stuff, and you'll get into that later. But don't get scared now. The next one typically is where people just like, oh, I'm never gonna get this, and they've seen it for 10 seconds. Like
Yeah.
it only sounds like a different language, but I promise you it's not. That is by design, so you never do it and you pay someone else to do it. So anyway, wrapping it up here. What do you think? Got anything?
I think we're good.
Send it. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one.
See ya.